Welcome to the front-end chapter. It's time to dig into the front-end development and rendering process. In this chapter, we'll see what packages and themes are, what is a typical theme structure, and what conventions you need to follow in order to be a successful theme developer. We will also dig into layout update files, learn XML structure inside of them, and see how block and templates are connected by layouts. Let's begin with the heart of Magento design area, which is app design. Here we have admin HTML, frontend, and install. And we'll keep our eyes on frontend, because I think you'll never need to customize admin or install wizard design. Initially, there are two subdirectories here, base and default. And these are called design packages. In Magento, packages represent collections of related themes. So, blank, default, iPhone, and modern are themes of default package. And you can see we have one more default theme in base package, which is perfectly fine. You can have two themes with the same name, but in different packages. Actually, each package must contain a default theme. And optionally, as we see here, a package can contain any number of variations on that theme. For example, if you have a site and want to have a different look on desktop, tablet, and mobile screens, your desktop version would be a default theme, while tablet and mobile themes are variations of that theme. They may have a simpler design, less images, or even different functionality, but all of them will go into the same package. Now, a quick reminder from the course introduction. A typical Magento theme, and I'll open a modern theme as a perfect example, is comprised of templating files that control how pages are structured, templates and layouts go into this group, and we also have skin files, like CSS, images, and theme-specific JavaScript that create the visual experience of the site. While templating files live in app design, skin files belong to skin directory. Magento breaks theme files into two separate directories like this to allow you more control over the security level of each directory on your server. The files in the skin folder need to be accessible to web browsers, and on the other hand, the files in the app design only need to be accessible to the application itself. Now let's go to the admin. I want to show you how can you set a theme for your store. I'm already here under System, Configuration, Design tab, and before continuing, make sure your current configuration scope is set to default config. This is the page where we can set a couple of things. First, the package name in which your favorite theme resides. It's default initially, and then under Theme section, you can tell Magento in which theme to look for necessary components like templates, skins, and layouts. We haven't actually talked about the role of these files yet, but stick with me for now. If you leave these fields blank, as they are right now, Magento will apply default theme of the design package you set here. So whatever it needs in the rendering process, and it will need a lot of files, which again we'll cover pretty soon, based on these settings, it will always look in default package and default theme inside of that. But there's something interesting here, and let me point that out. I said it's going to look under default package and default theme, regarding to the current dashboard settings, but we can clearly see that default theme doesn't contain templates folder at all. It doesn't contain layouts folder too. What about skins? We need to go to the same path under skin folder, so default package and then default skin, and yeah, here are images and CSS folders, which is good, but how Magento handles the missing layout and template files? To answer this question, we need to open another very important aspect on Magento theming called Fallback Model. And you can think of it in this way. If you specify here a theme name, that's the first place where Magento will look for required templates. So that gets translated to app, design, frontend, default, then whatever you typed here, and if not found there, the system goes in the theme specified here, if any. That's what this input field is used for. And if not found there, it will go to default theme in your design package, which is in this case app design frontend default default. And finally, if not found in default package, it will look in app design frontend base package and then default theme. The same rules apply to the other theme files like translations, skins, and layouts, and because all fields are blank here, the system will automatically try to find the required files in default theme, and because templates and layouts folders are missing there, it will finally go to default theme and base package. Default theme under base package is a fallback theme. All core template and layout files can be found here, as you can see. This is a very useful feature because Magento theme is not as simple as WordPress theme, for example. It requires hundreds of files, but as a theme developer, you'll never create all of them from scratch. That would be a very long process. Instead, for the most part, you rely on the files from base default theme and change only files that need to be different in your theme. Similar concept exists in WordPress. They call it a child theme, if you're familiar. All things I said can be verified by turning template path hints on, a great tool for showing what template file is used for a particular part on the page. I often use this tool when I want to make a change on the store, but not sure where to look. We'll talk more about that in the following lessons. For now, I just want to introduce you to such a helpful tool as template hints are, so from here go to Developer, under Advanced section. At this point, you will need to make sure you have English website selected in the current configuration scope drawdown instead of default config. Then, under Debug, you can first uncheck this Use Website option and then turn Template Path Hints on. I'll save config and then reload our Say Hello page. We can see kind of messy environment, but it's actually very useful. For example, this mini form is defined in frontend, base, default, template, catalog search. Top navigation is in frontend, base, default, template, page, HTML, or even whole page template sits under frontend, base, default, template, page. Feel free to play with this. I'm sure it will be very interesting to you. But my point for now is to prove that all files really come from base package and default theme. Why? Once again, because the system requires them in the rendering process, but they cannot be found in the default package and default theme specified in the dashboard, so regarding to the fallback model, the system will move to the base default, which is considered as a fallback theme, because it contains all necessary files. I'm repeating this because I cannot go over fallback model enough. Really important things for front-end development. Okay, what about changing the theme? Let's say, for example, you like the modern theme from default package and want to test it. How would you do that? I'll go back to design section in admin panel. Unless you only want to change the theme for English store, you need to revert configuration scope to default config. Alright. Because modern theme is in default package, we leave this field as it is, but we need to change all these fields to modern. Or easier, we can only specify modern as default theme here, and it will have the exact same effect. That's what I'm going to do. Let us try it. I'll save config, reload the page. Yes, the theme was changed, and what's interesting is that we still see base paths, but we can also see some files from modern theme. So you see the store seems very different, but only a couple of template files were changed for the home page. Biggest changes are probably in CSS. I'll open page source and search for modern. As you can see, the system loaded style CSS for modern theme, and take a look, it's quite big. Okay. So, we will finish this lesson by creating our new theme in default package. I mean, not a real theme, it won't contain anything just yet, but we'll set it now and use it in the last lesson where we're going to discuss about templates and how to properly modify them. So, I just want to prepare necessary placeholders. What we really need to do is to create two new folders. One in App, Design, Frontend, Default. I'll call it Tats+. And one in Skin, Frontend, Default, which I'll also call Tats+. Remember, it's one theme physically separated into two folders. And that's it. It's empty, but Magento will consider these folders as a theme. And notice that we don't need to explicitly tell the system about new theme in configuration XML. The only requirement is to change settings in the dashboard if we want to use that theme. So it's quite easy and nothing new here. I'll just specify tats+ here, save it, and we see it looks like the first blue theme we had. That's because all files actually come from base default. Alright, that's gonna do it for this lesson. Thanks for watching and see you in the next lesson.